Hey, Henry Smith is the Conservative MP for Crawley, which includes Gatwick Airport, and chair of the new cross-party Future of Aviation group set up to promote the industry. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Do you share his frustration?
Absolutely, and I endorse every word that we have just heard. We are an island trading nation. We are supposed to be looking to be global Britain, and yet we are at a competitive disadvantage to those countries like Germany, like France, that are testing passengers. And also passenger testing is important to restore confidence for people flying, as well as public health confidence too.
Is Gatwick ready for testing?
Yes, Gatwick have been ready for testing for quite some weeks. In fact, the chief executive of Gatwick Airport, who I speak with fairly regularly, would have liked to have had a testing regime in place earlier on in the summer. So they are good to go. And it is important that we view this in the context of jobs and livelihoods. Sadly, a couple of weeks ago, last week, Gatwick had to make an announcement of a further 600 jobs. And I've just been speaking with the management at Virgin Atlantic Airlines, who are having to consult on a further loss of 1,150 jobs. So these are real impacts on people's employment and our economy, and testing could be a significant part of the solution to mitigate that.
As terrible as the economic impact is for the area and for the national economy, the government has to think about people's health as well, and that's what they're doing, isn't it?
Well, testing would also provide, I think, greater confidence for public health as well, because if we are much more confident on the spread of COVID-19 and whether people who are entering the country have it or not, then that is actually something that means that we can tell when an infection might be a threat to public health here as well. So testing is an important part of that. At the moment, it's all a bit anecdotal, flights from Zante in Greece, where there was some cases of coronavirus being found out after the fact. If testing had been in place, then that infection could have been detected and mitigated. So I think it is an advantage not just to the airlines and those who work in the travel industry, but also the well-being and security of our public health across the United Kingdom.
So what's holding it up? Who in government is holding it up?
Well, I'm not a member of the government. I can only speculate as to why testing isn't part of the solution. This is an issue I raised in the House of Commons just yesterday. I was somewhat frustrated by the response and further announcements by government today, which seems not to be going ahead with testing at this time. I would urge the government to reconsider that, because, as mentioned by myself and your other guest, I think that that is a very important part of, as I say, public health confidence in flying and competitiveness of the UK economy.
If you don't want to speculate on who in government or why they're holding it up, what do you think of the fact it is being held up?
Well, there are some positive signs. Matt Hancock was mentioning a few days ago the development of a saliva test that would be able to detect COVID-19, or has the potential to, within an hour. That would certainly be a game changer. But I really do think we need to be looking at testing regimes that are already successfully being adopted in other countries. As I said, France and Germany, perhaps the most significant in terms of UK competitors, and roll that out here in the UK. And that's certainly what I and my group will continue to be calling on government to do.
Conservative MP for Crawley, Henry Smith, thank you very much.